Hello everyone. I've been planning on making a video about this specific subject, just about creating characters and just consciously creating them as a character and not a caricature. And I'd planned on having it fully be like me talking alongside of a video of me creating a character or whatever. But I just got too much to say about it. I can't like focus enough to create a character right now, and I don't know. I'm just gonna talk over whatever video that I can find. I'm sure it's lovely. Originally, I wanted to talk about getting out of the trap of creating a character of specifically a certain race. So like, say you're creating a black character, and just being conscious of the fact that you are creating a person and not a caricature. When I make characters, normally I have a general idea of what I want them to be like. And I feel like later on is when I kind of decide like skin tone and like hairstyle, texture, all of that stuff usually comes a little bit later. But I'm never like, I don't ever like make a character with the intention of them being like the Asian character or the gay character or the black character. I'm just making a character. And I had been meaning to make this video, but what kind of pushed me into just sitting here and recording this right now was I watched a show called Peacemaker. And I'm not going to get into my opinions about the show, but it does fall victim to a lot of these random like ideas. Like, there's a black character in the show and she's also a lesbian. And there are a couple of scenes that just focus on her being a lesbian. Like, someone makes a comment about activities that lesbians do, and she kind of has to like go in to like a little spiel about that. But it's like weird that they brought it up the way that they did, because people don't do that in person. Like, people do not talk to people like that. Like, if someone tells you that they're gay, then they're gay. And that's usually it. Like, I mean, of course, amongst friends, you might make jokes. But when you're with people that you don't really know all that well, it's kind of weird to make a whole little Family Guy-ass back and forth jokey joke about them being gay. And it's literally just like she is the token lesbian in the group. So they hyper-focus on it. And there's another scene in which she has to explain to someone who is not black that their family is problematic and racist. And she explains to this person, like, hey, this guy hates me just because of the way that I look and the color of my skin, and he's abhorrent. And it completely comes off as just the author or director or whatever just trying to let someone know that they're aware of these issues, which is weird because of course you're aware of these issues. It's something that I see a lot in media, but I also see it in art, because there has been an uncomfortable amount of times that I have seen a non-black person create a black character, and they make it a point to mention that they dislike racism. What? Of course they dislike racism. Yes. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. And I see it a lot. They'll put their likes and dislikes, and they'll say, oh, they like social justice and they dislike racism and bigotry and colorism. And it's so odd because duh. Like, I don't understand. It's really weird. And I don't know. Maybe somebody can explain it to me a little bit better, why they feel that they need to include these things. Is it just so that people know, like, what side of history that they're on, or let people know that it's bad. Like that's another thing. Like they bring these things up, and I don't mean, specifically artists, but like just whenever this trope is present where they have the black character or the lesbian character or the minority or whatever, they explain their struggle all the time and it's brought up all the time. It's like you aren't solving anything. There's no intention to solve anything or change minds. It's just saying that it's there. And we all know that it's there, right? It's so weird. It's very odd. It's something that I do not understand. To tie it back to character creation, when you're creating a character, you don't have to have some sort of obligation to let people know that they are a black character. And I just keep saying black because, I'm black, and it's something that I notice a lot, and I don't want to speak for other races or creeds or anything like that. But it's so, like, it almost feels like they're overthinking it. So, like, if you're non-black creating a black OC, it's almost like it comes with this feeling of, okay, I want to make sure that people know that I know, like, what a black person is, and that, that I'm aware that they have struggles, and I'm aware that they go through this and this and this. And it's like, you don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. You can just create a black character with dark skin, and they can just be a black character with dark skin because they are a character. You aren't doing this. You shouldn't be doing this with the focus of creating a blank character. You should just be creating a character. Don't focus so much on showing people, like, outright, like, hey, look, here's the spotlight on this black character. Here's the spotlight on this gay character. Look at them. I get it. I know they're there. They're right here. And I don't think it's done with, like, malicious intent. I don't think people are doing it, like, for any, like, bad reasons or anything like that. And I don't, like, really fault them for it because it's all over the place. I mean, people, you see it all the time. But I don't know. I just don't get it. I think people, I guess my only explanation for it is that people are just heavily overthinking it. And don't overthink it. Just don't. Like, just chill. just chill. Like, if you create a black character, you've created a black character. You've created a character who has dark skin. Like, you don't have to have them explain their struggle. You don't have to have them explain to people that, like, they don't have to take on the role of teaching the people around them that racism exists. Because I promise, like, I and my friends, we aren't constantly talking about that. We talk about this, art and movies and music and all kinds of things. It's not something that I hyper focus on. It's not something that I like talking about. I'm of course aware of it, obviously. But it's just very weird when people feel like they need to dump all of these things on their usually token minority character, their black character. Like, I don't know, because it usually comes off as more of a problem than it would have been if you had just treated this black character as just a character, because I can't even, like, count the amount of times that I mentioned it earlier, but I still can't believe that it's a thing. But they'll put, like, they hate racism, and then they'll give them, like, an afro with, like, the like the pick with, like, the fist on it, and they have, like, the huge hoop earrings and, like, the exaggerated features, and it's just, they dump all of these things onto this character, usually because it is their only black character, which is another strange thing to me. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that everybody has to have, a rainbow of characters of every race and all of that all the time, but I think that when you have all one race of characters, usually we can use white as an example, if you've just for years had all white characters, and then all of a sudden you decide to inject one black person, and then like all of your other characters are diverse, like they dress differently, they express themselves differently, they, you know, just behave differently than one another, and it's just, you know, every like different culture or background that you could see in all of these characters. But then you get to the black character, and then you dump as many black stereotypes onto them. That's when I think it's like a weird thing that's happening, and maybe you should take a step back and look at it. But that's not really something that I care to get into. That's it, because again, this is not me upset about anything. It's more so me just being very confused, because at this point, it's a thing that is so prevalent that it takes me out of like media, and it takes me out of the, I don't know, whatever I'm looking at. Like if it's a comic, if it's just an art piece, or, you know, whatever. It's just something that I've noticed, and it really is weird, and I'm very confused by it, and it's, I don't know, it's very strange. But this is a video that has been in my mind since I first started like posting, and even well before that. I knew that I had an issue with it, but I didn't know where to talk about it, so now I'm just talking about it here. But yeah, what my message for you is to just please relax. Just create a character. If they're black, they're black. If they're white, they're white. If they're just, if whatever, just think of them as a person, not a blank person. That's it. That's all you have to do. That it takes away a lot of stress if you just have them just be a person, because I promise we are all people. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to dump, you know, the struggle or the hardship or anything to make it authentic, because not everyone has the same experience because they have the same race, you know? I don't know. It's just a weird thing that I had to talk about. I don't know what's gonna be playing in the background again. I wanted it to be me like creating a character, but I don't know. Maybe it can just be a different video when I talk about my character creation process, whatever. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Everybody, just please, you know, do your thing, get creative, and just relax. Just relax. Well, that was nice. I'm really glad that I got that out. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, do whatever I gotta do to get this video out. But thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate your support here and on Twitter and on Patreon. I really want to thank my patrons. They're the absolute best. And again, thank you so much, and I'll catch you later. Bye.